guys, welcome back to another episode of Lights Out with Ish and Eve. I'm Ish and this is Eve, and we are back to discuss the very important championship race that was the Mexican Grand Prix.
Oh my god. Like, statement?
Yeah, for real. We're obviously, I mean, maybe me more than you because you're also a Lando fan, but there was a little moment of Australian silence as Oscar Piastri lost his championship lead for the first time since Saudi Arabia.
I know, but it could have been a lot worse.
Oh,
he
for sure.
had a really good recovery drive, as did Max. They both picked it back up after their qualifying.
Yes.
And I feel like, given the circumstances of qualifying, they both did quite well at minimising damage. But yeah, Oscar's championship lead has gone and it's just taken a turn. But I think, like, it's 1 point. It's fucking nothing. Like, it's next week, who knows what we're going to be saying. But it's just like another chapter in the book of this year's World Championship. That's like, what the fuck's going to happen?
I know. There was a lot about this weekend, I think, that was very unexpected. I think Max not being right up there with Lando was crazy. Lando's speed in general over the course of the weekend was kind of insane.
Was so fast.
Yeah. The Ferraris out of nowhere, just finding some speed. Like, there was a lot that was unknown. And of course, the race, like, banger. Much more of a banger than I expected it to be. I expected kind of excitement into turn one and then
not much else.
Maybe
because,
not so much
like,
after that.
That's the thing with, like, races without that much overtaking. It's like, you kind of need crashes for them to be bangers. Like, we didn't need crashes for this race to be a banger.
Yeah.
Like, there was just always people, like, tyre strategy, people getting stuck behind each other, overtaking, Max Verstappen vintage dive bombs, like George crashing out on the radio, like
George
everything
was so
you would
funny.
want. Oh, I was cackling at that.
So
and we still had a car winning by half a minute, but there was enough going on elsewhere for it to still be an exciting race.
100%.
And like, even because Max and Oscar are so heavily in this championship fight, the fact that, like, it's still really important what's going on back there, because even though they're not fighting for the lead of the race, they're still all fighting for the World Championship. So it's not just like, oh, there's no fights for the win of the race, it's not exciting. Everything that was going on back there has so many repercussions for everybody. So it's still so important.
I know. And it was so good because I didn't know what the final order was going to be until everyone crossed the line, really. Like,
oh my God, I'm so pissed off
with
that fucking virtual safety car.
Tell me about it.
I mean, I was like, go Charles, go! Because he's like fighting off Max. So I was like, that's all good for me if Max finishes behind Charles. But then it was like, Oscar was catching Ollie as well, so I was like, no.
Yes.
Oh my God. And there was a point in time where it looked like Ollie might get a podium, and I was like, okay.
That was insane. I know. I was also with that virtual safety car, I was like, Carlos Sainz still works for Ferrari. Straight up. Like, saving both Charles and Ollie, who's a Ferrari driver academy driver.
Oh my God, so true.
Bro,
I didn't even think of that. That's so funny. I was just like, I saw a meme. It was just a picture of Michael Massey being like, miss me now. Like, yes. But that did save Charles. Charles was a sitting duck.
Yeah.
Like, Max caught him at a rate of knots at the end of that race. I was like, ooh.
Yes,
all right.
Agree. No, it was fun. Shall we get into the weekend?
Yes,
Beautiful.
I think so.
I don't think there was anything kind of leading into this weekend.
Well, there was a little note about McLaren being under investigation for breaching the cost cap last year.
Was that McLaren or was it Aston Martin?
It was both of them. Aston Martin paid the fine. McLaren are under investigation. And I mean, this has happened to Red Bull before and nothing came of it, but it's like, if they're found whatever level of guilty, they could be stripped of last year's World Championship and it could go to Ferrari.
I just feel like there is no way in hell that happens. You know what I mean?
I know, and a similar thing happened with Red Bull a few years ago, and nothing happened.
Oh yeah,
with
and
that.
they were like, it was the catering. It was like,
yeah,
okay,
maybe ours was the fucking rocket ship, but who knows?
Yeah. Anyways,
I found out about this in a conversation where we were discussing how McLaren have butchered so many things this year, and I was just like, then they were like, oh, and they're under investigation, and I was like, fucking great.
cool. Add it to the list.
This is my team, everyone. I hate them, but I love the drivers.
True. Fair enough.
Anyways.
Well, let's get into practice. So
Yes.
FP1, we had 9 rookies out on track. That's got to be a little nervy for the other
Everyone.
drivers, the teams. That is a lot of people who have had very limited to no experience in an F1 car before.
On a short track where it's very easy to get in the way.
Yes.
But yeah, did you want to rattle them off, or shall I rattle them off?
You rattle them off because you're kind of more the F2 girly, so...
Yeah. I did write them down because I was like, I'm gonna forget. So basically,
Yes.
Pato O'Ward in for McLaren, Antonio Fuoco in for Ferrari. I don't know who he is. Never heard of him before.
No.
Welcome. Arvid Lindblad in for Red Bull, Fred Vesti in for Mercedes, Paul Aaron for Alpine, Luke Browning for Williams, Ayumu Iwasa for RB, Jack Crawford for Aston Martin, Hirakawa for Haas, which a lot of those is, you know, we've seen them before.
Yeah.
Expected. Obviously, the standout performer was Arvid Lindblad, who is threatening those Red Bull juniors.
Yes.
I think we will see him in an RB.
Yeah. Well, the fact that he finished, he finished practice 2 places ahead of Yuki, which, like, it's practice. You never know what sort of, like, setups they're running, what their fuel load is, whatever. But that doesn't read well.
Yeah, I know, it doesn't. And also because the Red Bull, like, you know, being like, it's a really hard car to drive, blah, blah, blah. Obviously, the Red Bull has improved a lot in the past 2 or 3 months.
Yes.
So, don't know, but he kind of slayed.
Yes. He
Good
did
for
very
him.
well.
I like him. I think he's
Absolutely. Yes.
So that, yeah, and then the rest of the rookies, they all finished at the bottom of the order.
Yes.
The top of the bottom of the order was Pato O'Ward for McLaren driving at his home race. But again, he's kind of slaying it up in IndyCar. I don't think he's...
Yeah.
Yeah.
On
and
the
also
F1, like, road just
radar
yet.
as much. Yeah.
One quite funny thing that happened during FP1 as well was George Russell, who had Fred Vesti in his car, decided to take the session to go and watch from the grandstands in a Mexican wrestling like mask. Which was very funny. I mean, I don't know how long he stayed there for, or if he was actually, it was just a bit of like a PR stunt, but either way, it was very funny.
But yeah, he was like, I haven't seen cars on track in years. Like, I haven't watched cars on track. And I was like, oh my God, you wouldn't. Because you'd just be if you're not driving, you'd be in the garage watching on the screens.
Totally.
I was like, that's kind of crazy.
Just fun.
But the fact that he was like,
and just to like feel the vibes.
I know. But the fact that I thought was so funny, he was like, I'm in disguise, no one will know who I am. And then in his dance, he's like, there's my car, he's in my car. George.
You're ruining it.
Literally. Surely, like, the guy filming or something must have also been security, because that could have gone bad. And then he walked past the George Russell fans, and, like, they were wearing George Russell shirts, and he was like, yeah, great driver. I'm sorry. If I would have recognised him. 100%.
Yeah.
Just, like, if a driver
You'd think you would.
especially because he spoke. I'd be like, hello.
Wait a minute. Yes.
Anyways, that was really funny. I really thought that was a slay. Anyway, on track, everyone was slipping and sliding as per.
Yes. Yes. Nothing
yeah,
too serious, though.
Yeah.
But, like, the top three to finish the session were Charles, Kimmy, and Nico, which was a crazy top three.
Yeah.
Like, hello?
Yeah, like, I know half of the drivers aren't out there, but, like...
Yeah, but still. But then in FP2, we had all the usual drivers back out on track. Both McLarens were looking a little wobbly in this session.
I mean, it was the start of that all-round for Oscar. Unfortunately for him, that didn't improve. And obviously Lando had missed out on FP1, but he's normally good at coming in an FP1 session and topping the times. So it is concerning when he doesn't.
Yes. Because McLarens were looking a little off, but Max was looking good. Charles was again looking good. And I was like, okay, double good practice.
Promising.
Could be good. And Kimi Antonelli as well was like P3 again at the end of FP2. I was
because he had to start a little issue at the start, but clearly they fixed it.
Yeah.
And then McLaren were race running on the soft tyre in FP2, and that was like, okay, interesting.
Yes.
But obviously that ended up being a really good race tyre, so fair enough. And everyone obviously got there in the end, but I was like, interesting.
Yes. I think the like weather was so different on race day that like it ended up being fine. But yeah, it was interesting.
But there was also a few people kind of almost racing each other into turn one.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, practicing, are we?
Yes.
Fun. I know. But anything else to say about FP2?
No, I think that was it. So FP3, Lando was kind of back into the swing of things. Oscar, not so much. I think he was like P5. But Lando was looking good. Ferrari was still looking quick. P2 and P4. I was like, okay, all right, my hopes are high.
Yeah, you're like, I've officially had my hopes lifted.
Yes.
Like, whatever happens now is on you, Ferrari, because...
Yeah, because you've done this to me again.
Yeah.
Hadjar had quite a scary little moment where a McLaren just, like, appeared out of nowhere. And I totally had, like, Monaco flashbacks of him in F2 where he, like, had to get out of the way in the tunnel. It was like literally the same thing. He like rounded the corner. There was a McLaren right there going slow and he had to like quickly move. I was like, oh, he's good at that.
That's scary. And he also then had an issue later on with Gasly also being in the way. Like, bro was just getting blocked.
Yeah.
That session.
Not loving.
It was very close. All of the top 10 ended up really, really close together. Luke Browning was on the commentary for a little bit, and he was killing it. You're like, sometimes like, you know, they get the reserve or rookie drivers on the commentary, and it's kind of more like a bit of an interview, like a chatty interview.
Yes.
Bro was proper
I feel like they've had
commentating.
Dragovic do that all the time.
Yeah, they do. And like Jack Doohan did it, I think, last year.
Yeah,
like,
for a bit.
They've had a few people in there.
Yeah.
But he was like proper commentating. Like, he wasn't even just like answering their questions, because obviously they were asking him about like his F2 season and the championship and blah 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 blah. He was like, yeah, so you see like these cars out here and this is what they're doing and like blah blah. I was like, it's just so naturally like just actually commentating what was happening. I was like, is this still him? Like,
Yeah.
I kind of thought that they'd like swapped back over to the normal commentators. He was doing so good. I was like, okay, well, if you don't make it to F1, I think you've got a career in commentary because you're slaying.
Well, I think the only other thing to note was like Albon had a bit of a struggle during FP3. He ran off, had a few big lockups and ran off a couple times, and so that was sort of the start of not a great rest of the weekend for him. Unfortunately,
it was a bit of a weekend that could have been for Williams in a way.
It was
like, Albon just struggled, but Carlos, obviously had his grid penalty. But
he just used up all his luck last week.
Yeah, as we said last episode, when he got the 5-place grid penalty, we were like, oh, it's back.
Yeah.
But he was saying apparently through practice, like, because obviously he won the race last year. He knows what a good car feels like around Mexico. So apparently, in practice, he was like trying to replicate as much as possible how the car felt last year. And I was like, I mean, it makes sense, but that's a Ferrari and this is a Williams.
Yeah.
But I think it obviously did something because he was miles ahead of Alex.
He was looking good.
Yeah, and until
making overtakes left, right, and centre.
Went wrong.
Yeah.
As per.
Standard.
Anyways.
Yes. But I think that was practice, pretty much. Yeah. Shall we get into quali?
Mm-hmm.
So in Q1, we had Colapinto, Stroll, Gasly, Albon, and Bortoletto eliminated. Kind of the usual suspects. Obviously, Albon was a bit unfortunate with that one. But first flying laps, Lando P1 and Oscar, like 7/10 slower. He was slower than Ollie Bearman, who obviously had an incredible weekend. But Oscar was like nowhere.
Oh.
He got on the radio. He said he had like DRS issues, but it was like the start of, oh no, this is about to be a bad session for Oscar.
Yeah, I was very torn. Because I was like, Lando's out here like going like a second faster than everybody. Not actually, but like...
Well, actually,
is like,
sometimes.
Yeah, and Oscar is like fighting for his life to be faster than a Haas.
Yeah.
I was like, brother...
Are they in the same car?
Didn't look like it, because...
I know.
But like...
Because Andrea Stella's explanation was, like, basically Oscar was just slightly slower at, like, every turn. Like, half a tenth here, and it just all... Yeah, but I'm like... How? Like, where has this loss of confidence come from? Like...
Yeah.
Why?
Baku? Like...
Must be. Like... Yeah,
but we were talking about this on text, which we normally try not to do for podcast's sake. But you made a really good point of like he's just having, you know, a form and confidence slump, which happens, but he's just unlucky in the sense that when Lando's form was down, the car was still miles ahead of everybody else, so he was still on the podium. Whereas Oscar's form slump and confidence slump has come when Red Bull has a fast car, Ferrari can have a fast car, Mercedes can jump in there, and all of a sudden, him having a loss of form and confidence has put 5 or 6 cars in between them.
Exactly,
so it's just unlucky for him, the timing of it, and I fear if he doesn't win the World Championship, it's going to be... He fucking bottled it.
Yeah. I know.
I even saw a meme of like Lando and Oscar like shaking hands, but it was like Lando like passing him a bottle. I was like,
oh no,
guys, like, can we not? Like,
can we not?
But it is kind of funny as well. But I'm also just like, no.
No.
Oh, anyways, let's get back into the qualifying session. Obviously, Ollie Bearman was fucking flying.
Yeah. His second flying lap, he went faster than Lando. I was like, hello? Yes, the RBs. Out of nowhere. In their final flying laps, they were like P1 and P3.
And then they disappeared again.
Yeah. And like, obviously, track evolution, but still.
Mm-hmm. And then Hadjar finished the session P1, didn't he?
Yep. Top 3 were Hadjar, Hamilton, Russell. Hello?
What the fuck?
I know. Red Bull, for real, just like, goodbye, Yuki.
Goodbye, Max. Just kidding. But yeah, my brother was asking me, like, is Lawson going to have a seat next year? And I was like, good question. It's either him or Yuki, and I feel like they'll just leave Liam in RB because he's had less time.
Yeah, agreed. they're not going to demote Yuki. So,
I mean, yeah, but it's fair. Like, Yuki had 5 years there. Like, what else do you want him to do? Like,
totally. It is what it is.
It was a bad car though. It's a good car now, but
yeah,
such is F1 life.
I know.
Anyways, Q2.
Yes. We had Liam Lawson, Fernando Alonso, Nico Hulkenberg, Esteban Ocon, and Yuki Tsunoda eliminated. Again, the people you would probably expect in that session. But first flying laps, like you said, Lando was a second faster than everyone else. He was a second faster than Oscar in those first flying laps of Q2. Oscar, I think, was on used tyres. Lando was on new ones, but still a second on like the third shortest lap on the calendar. Like,
but
what?
Like, it's actually kind of crazy. Like, Lando did this in Hungary as well, which is also a short track. Just put a massive pole margin somehow.
Yeah.
Like,
maybe it's like a little ADHD brain, you know? He's like, I can really lock in for like a really short amount of time.
Yeah, he's like, the track is too long, I can't pay attention for that. That's so funny.
Someone get like Subway Surfers like on his
on
wheel.
his dash, so he can like halfway through the lap in a longer track, like Spa or something, he can just start like playing the game. Yeah, and then this is when Oscar was like, I've got like P power unit issues, and I was like,
oh no,
are you taking the piss? But also might explain something. But then I guess Andrea Stella kind of was like, no.
Yeah, but that is not the case.
Carlos was looking quick from the first run.
Carlos was
which
looking
was good.
quick.
Obviously, good for him. He got through. Liam Lawson could not put a fucking lap together.
Yeah, he kind of went through a lot this weekend, I feel.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, the stuff in the race was all over the shop. But, yeah, that was unfortunate. Max not looking as quick as I thought he would. I thought he'd kind of start to pull it out of the bag in Q2 and then Q3 as he normally does.
I even said this as I was watching, and Max wasn't going that fast in Q2, and I was like, I don't even care that he's not going fast, because I just know once it gets to the final runs in Q3, he's just going to whack it on pole. But
yeah.
No. But you're right, this is normally when he would start putting those P1 times on the board.
Yeah. And he was not. Ferrari, however, were looking good. I was like, okay, all right. We're not scraping through the sessions like we did last weekend.
I know. That's like Oscar's qualifying was reminding me so much of Charles Leclerc's sprint quali in Austin, where it's just like, oh my God, like, how are you so slow? Like, why are you fighting for your life to get through to the next session?
I know. I breathed a sigh of relief when he made it through. He was still half a second off the pace, but I was like, like I full let out of breath.
Yeah, it was tight for him to get through.
Yeah.
And I was like, Ew.
I know.
I want to wear my PS3 top again. Like, hello.
I know. You've got your cute little McLaren sweater on.
I know. I had to buy another one because I needed something that I could wear when Lando did well.
True.
Not just for Oscar.
Fair. Yes, correct. But he did make it through to Q3, and Lando straight away put it on provisional pole until Charles took it from him, and Lewis also went like P3, and I was like,
yeah,
all right,
and
this is good.
Because then I was like, okay, because when Charles went faster, I was like, this wasn't what I was expecting to be fighting against. Now I'm concerned.
Yeah.
Okay. Because it just looked like... Yeah, and also Charles's his first lap in Q3 was 7/10 faster than his time in Q2.
Yeah.
Where did you...
Where? How?
Oscar Piastri, watch and learn. Take notes.
I know. Because Oscar, on their final flying laps, was like one of the earlier ones to cross the line, and he only went P3, and he had like everyone else behind him to cross the line, and I was like, no.
Yeah.
And just disaster. Like starting P7, I was like, he's not going to be leading the championship come tomorrow.
Yeah, I was like, and then with Max starting P5 as well, I was like, it's giving Lando leads world championship. That's what happened. But like Lando's pole lap was fucking insane. Like as those purple sectors were coming up, and he was already like it was like 2/10 up in the first sector, or like 1.5 tenths, and then by the second sector he'd gotten up to like 2.5, 3 tenths up, and I was like, and then
how are you doing that?
It was almost half a second faster, and I was like, damn, okay.
Yeah.
Because Charles obviously had like joined the chat at the last second, and I was like, hello, what the fuck? And then I was like, okay, I don't think Charles is gonna beat that. Yeah.
And he did not. But I was very happy with my Ferrari P2, P3.
Yeah,
like,
that's great.
Let's go. Especially because Mexico is so rarely won from pole. I was like, this is the vibe. Even Lewis was like, I'm starting P3. That's like probably the best spot to start. So I'm happy.
Yeah, and even just like seeing Lewis up there, like in the interviews, I was like, hello.
I know. That was like a unique experience.
I know. And with like the 2 Ferraris, I was like,
I know.
We haven't had this in a very long time.
There's so much red going on.
You're like, finally.
For real.
I haven't seen that much red since Monza.
Yeah, I'm sick of the orange.
I mean, they still had their nice little white race suits.
They did. It was really
which
cute.
Which was cute.
Yes.
But yeah, obviously Max and Oscar being qualified so far back was like massive for Lando, and as a Lando enjoyer, I was very nervous because
Lando enjoyer is very funny.
Well, I don't want to call myself a Lando fan because that has connotations that I do not agree with.
No, that's valid.
So
a Lando enjoyer is a little crazy.
Anyways, I was like, what the fuck is gonna go wrong? Like, is he gonna bottle the start? Even though he hasn't bottled the start in a long time. I was like, are we bottling the start? Are we having engine failure? Are we being collected like we were in the Austin sprint? I was like, what is gonna go wrong?
Well, it comes back to like, this is the moment for Lando to capitalize on this opportunity that he's been given, because he hasn't done that in the past. When Oscar has been down in 5th or 6th or DNF'd or whatever, Lando has not done what he needed to do to maximize that. And it was like, can he handle the pressure of being in that scenario again? And can he actually do it? And he did.
To the nth degree.
For real. Big tick.
Like, damn.
Yeah, like that was a world champion drive.
Like, it's such a statement. I was literally like, go off. Like, because even if like Oscar starts to lose confidence, can't get his form back, that's pressure as well. And like, Lando has capitalized on not only Oscar being so far back, but he's not going to get so many opportunities like this where Max is that far back either. So for him to be able to capitalize on that and then win the race by 30 seconds is like, no, I am here for this fucking championship fight. It's kind of the same sort of mentality when he overtook Charles last week, like when he his soft tires were dying and he dropped back and then he kind of waited and then came back at him and got him. That kind of mentality of being like, nah, I'm doing everything I can. Like, I'm not letting a single point be left on the table.
No, 100%. For sure.
And
it was so good. Yeah. So good to see.
I was like, go off. Like, you just have to respect him for it. And people don't because they were fucking booing him. But
I know. It's just, like, it's so disgusting. Like,
it just, like, made me so, like, it just kind of, made me flat after I was like, because I'm like, this is so impressive what he's just done.
Yeah.
It's so impressive. Even if you're not a Lando fan.
I also don't get what people don't like. Like, I get that, you know, in the past he's maybe made some comments and things like that have like rubbed people the wrong way. But like, I think
and like
this past sort of 6 months and this year he's like done a lot of growth.
100%. This year he's a lot better than he was last year.
Yeah.
And I think, yeah.
You don't boo a driver that you don't want to win. You just cheer for the driver that you do. Like,
yeah, exactly. Yeah, and like you can have favorite drivers and drivers that you don't like so much, but don't boo them. Like,
I know.
There's just no need.
No. Agreed.
Because like it was loud as well in the interview. Like, it was loud booing.
Shall we get into the race?
I think we should.
So, first of all, I was about to be very upset because when the F1 intro started, they did not use the Mexican F1 theme.
Yeah, I was devastated.
I was about to throw a riot. But thankfully, when they transitioned into like talking through the grid, they did indeed play the Mexican
thankfully.
theme.
They brought it in.
Thankfully. Yeah.
I was like,
as you
my
should.
little like boogie, yeah.
But anyways, so a few obviously like different tyre strategies. The main one to note being Max, who started on mediums when pretty much every other car in the top 10 or so started on softs.
Was on a soft, yeah.
Which created a really nice, obviously like subplot throughout the race.
Chaotic, chaotic start as well.
Correct, with everyone, like with him on different tires. So let's talk about the start. It was crazy.
So let me just say, my internet is on and off, and I have to watch the F1 through VPN. So I often get a bit of buffering, and for some reason, it decided to buffer really badly right as the race was starting. So I was about to throw my laptop, actually. Like, I was getting so frustrated because I was like, what the fuck? Like, anyway, so I just saw, like, the race started. Max pulled out alongside them. It, like, stopped. Then it cut forward. Max was, like, in the grass. Then it cut forward and Charles was ahead of Lando. And then everyone else was, like, off in the background. And I was like, what is going on? Because, like, I was, like, so pissed off because I was like, I've just missed the whole fucking race start. So then I had to like thankfully, then it just like stopped buffering and then the rest of the race was like kind of fine. And I was like, okay.
Well, that's good.
But yeah, anyway, I had to kind of like re-see what happened in the start. So I'd love to hear it from your live perspective of actually seeing.
Fair. Well, there was a lot to kind of unpack and like just watching it, there was a lot to unpack. And then literally like as the race went on and the FIA had to like work out like what they were going to like, you know, note and investigate from this incident and from like ones later in the race too, was so funny. But basically, great start for Lando. He got the launch that he needed. But obviously, as it's Mexico, Charles, Lewis and Max all got a really good slipstream. Like coming up to turn 1. At one point, it looked like Charles was ahead of Lando. Then it looked like Lewis was ahead of Charles. And then Max came around the outside and then just lost grip and had to go off onto the grass. They tried to go 4 wide into turn 1.
Literally was crazy. Because, like, who else? George was in there? Was it George?
George was, like, hanging back a little because obviously, like, you don't want to get caught up in any chaos.
Yeah. Crazy. I thought, like, between the two Ferraris was a bit spicy.
Yeah.
Like,
Charles kind of overtook Lewis off the track too, and I'm kind of like, why did he not get a penalty for that?
I noticed that as well. I was like, because on the replay, I was like, I feel like Lewis was ahead of Charles when Charles had to bail out. And if Charles had to bail out and not make the corner, I'm surprised they haven't asked him to give that place back.
Yeah. Like, nothing even got noted. It's almost like they missed it. Like, with everything else going on at the start, like, through that lap and that first corner. It's almost like they were looking at Max
Too much going on.
Lando and George, and they just, like, missed the Ferrari bit in the middle.
Yeah. But, like, that was kind of crazy. Max almost crashed.
Yeah.
Into the wall on the outside, like, on the other side of the grass.
He was so lucky to get away with that. Like, I know. So lucky. And managed to come out okay. Terrible start, though, for Oscar. Dropping back to, like, P10 or P11 or something in the kerfuffle. And then it was, like, he, like, managed to make up a couple places and then was, like, sat in P9. I was like, oh, God. Like, literally, it can't go worse.
It gets worse. But there was also some contact further back, I think, between Lance Stroll, spun around, and I think it must have been Liam because then he had damage. Yes. But I didn't really know what was going on. But then obviously Charles gave Lando the place back. Max gave the place back to the Ferraris, but not to George. And then George was having his first crash out of the race. But then on the replay, Max was well clear of George.
On the radio, very displeased.
Yeah, but Max on the replay, Max was well clear of George by the time they got to that kerfuffle. So
yeah, for sure. So then they kind of like trundled around for the first few laps. Nothing too crazy happened. But then by lap 6, Max tried to. This is where the sort of more controversial move happened, where Max tried to overtake Lewis and went wide, and then Lewis tried to like get back on him, and then they both locked up, and then Lewis took the escape road. Ollie Bearman got through while they both locked up.
Through goes Bearman.
Lewis is taking the escape road. And I mean, first of all, we love a bit of Max and Lewis.
Of course.
Wheel racing.
And
I was like,
it's just hilarious when you see a Max Verstappen dive bomb. Because you just know if that was the other way around, he would be having a breakdown.
Yeah,
but just
he would
like
be on the radio screaming at GP.
Yeah, down the inside and then pushing off Lewis on the exit. I was like, lol.
Lewis very quickly diverted to the escape road too. Almost like he'd done a whole year of battling with that man and knew that trouble was afoot.
And knew that if he wanted his car in one piece, he must take the escape road.
Yeah, at the first sign of trouble, he was like, nah.
Literally. But just unluckily for him, he didn't stay on the escape road.
Yes. So then Lewis was under investigation for a few things in that incident.
Yes.
He was first under investigation for not sticking to the escape road, which he didn't end up getting a penalty for, which kind of fair
he did?
enough.
I thought he did.
No.
I thought that's what he got the penalty for.
What he did get the penalty for was leaving the track and gaining an advantage, which almost seems like the same thing. But I think prior to the weekend, they'd made it very clear that you needed to follow this escape road or else you would be penalised. But that one was fine. But it was the fact that, he then, I think, it was almost like that was the cause and then the effect was that he gained an advantage. So the two are kind of interlinked because he didn't follow the escape road. He went off on the grass, but that meant that he joined the track at a much further up part than he otherwise would have. So that's where the penalty came. But I think the interesting part of this and the kind of controversial part of this, and I've seen so many comments online, is why didn't Max get a penalty for
pushing him off the track?
I've watched it a couple times. I feel like it is pushing another driver off the track. But interesting that the FIA did not decide to intervene.
I know. And I was thinking, it's been a while since we've had FIA drama, controversy.
It has, yeah. They've kind of been on good behaviour recently.
Yeah, this year. I mean, maybe it's because the drivers have been on pretty good behaviour and the championship leader's own team are sorting it out for them.
Yeah, that's true.
I feel like that might have something to do with it, whereas last year Max and Lando were like pushing each other off all the time.
Yes,
so they kind of had to. But yeah, it was kind of interesting to have that bit of beef back. But also in the mix of Max and Lewis's incident, George lost out big time because Ollie slipped through, Kimmy also slipped through, and George ended up in like P7 or something. Yeah. And I was like, that's not good. And that was the start of his eventual breakdown. But it's also around the same time where Oscar got through on Yuki finally.
Yes,
and
that took 11 laps to happen. I was like, oh my God. Just quickly on Ollie Bearman too. Them being sandwiched between Lewis and Max.
So
like,
funny.
I just thought that was very funny. Him being like, help, Mum, I'm scared.
Literally. He's like, oh my God, what's going on? In his little house.
Yeah.
So funny.
He's like, why am I here? How did I get here?
Then the first pit stops kind of started happening.
Yes. Wait, before that,
yes.
lap 12. It was lap 12. I wrote it down.
Okay.
Bernie Collins starts talking about Ferrari getting ready to lift and coast. And I was like, literally, KMS.
Already? That's
so
funny.
I was like, are you kidding me? This is criminal behaviour. Anyway.
On lap 12 is so funny. Oh my God. Did they... Were they... Because they were also talking about someone else having to lift and coast as well.
They were. I think they were more just talking about like tyre management. But Bernie specifically was like, she literally said the words, Ferrari will be getting ready to lift and coast now. And it was lap fucking 12. I was like, no.
That is absolutely hilarious. It's like, we've had enough lifting and coasting. Please, no more.
Real.
No more. Lift and coast.
For real.
But yeah.
Yes, then the first pit stop started happening.
Max had a moment where GP pressed the wrong button, and all of a sudden,
that was really funny.
Max is hearing him be like, "Are we on a 1 or a 2 stop strategy?" Max is like, "I don't fucking know. You tell me, bro." Like, he was like, "That message was not for me."
Like,
what really concerned me with the first few pit stops is that when Oscar Piastri was brought in for his pit stop, I don't mind that he's brought in first. Obviously, Lando is so far ahead that he could have a long pit stop and it wouldn't matter. But
yes,
Oscar, obviously we know McLaren's second pit stops are normally the problematic ones. But Oscar had a slow stop on the first pit stop. And I was like, okay, so now we can't even get one. We can't even get one.
Like, first cab off the rank, and nah.
Fucking crazy. But
I know. To be fair, really... it wasn't terrible, but it was like 3.5 seconds.
Yeah, like we've seen worse, but it wasn't good.
Yeah, it was not good. Carlos also on his first pit stop.
Really bad.
Started a chain reaction of problems where he had like a problem with his pit limiter and was speeding in the pit lane, which he got a penalty for, which he later then had to serve the penalty for, except that when he came in to serve the penalty, he then also sped once again, which I think is just really ironic, and then they gave him a drive-through penalty because of that one, which is just like, you're just making him speed through the pit lane again by giving him a drive-through penalty.
It's like, you know, he's got an issue with his car where he can't slow down in the pit lane. So stop making him go to the pit lane. Yeah. I was like, but because it's a stop and go, he can't just stay out and have it added at the end because it's a stop go. Yeah. Just to come back in. I was like, okay, you're taking the piss now. Like, bro.
I know, honestly.
That was, again, as you said, just the start of more bad luck for him. But with Oscar Piastri's slow pit stop, that actually horribly impacted him because he came out behind Alex Albon. And obviously when George then came in to cover off the pit stop from Oscar, he got out just ahead of Albon and Oscar.
Yeah.
Which I was like, oh my God, if Oscar hadn't come out stuck behind a Williams, he would have been able to undercut George.
Yeah.
So that slow pit stop actually did.
That was tough.
Yeah, really impact his race. Anyway, around that time as well, Nico DNF'd.
Yeah, with like mechanical issues or something.
Yeah.
Very unfortunate. Also around that time, Ollie Bearman was like up into 5th and the top 4 hadn't pitted yet, but he had. So it was like,
and he was like,
oh my God.
Fifth. He was like,
this is like the start of, are we going to have an Ollie Bearman podium right now?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which I would have been so here for. Of course. Sadly was not to be, but
no.
So such a good race from him,
because
he could have so easily like crumpled under that pressure of being up, you know, racing amongst the front runners.
I know, and he overtook Max at one point.
Yeah.
I can't remember when that was. I'm trying to find it in my notes and I can't.
Yeah, I think it was a bit later on, but
that was such a good move. He's probably like, I'm doing it. Oh my God.
I know. Look at me go.
Yeah, literally. And then his dad was so cute in the garage, like cheering and like fist pumping because he overtook Max. Like I was like, oh my God, so cute.
I know, bless.
I loved that. And then Lando stopped, and it was a good stop for the second stop of McLaren, and I was like, okay.
It was like,
I think it was like,
he had a whole like pit stop of time in his pocket, but he didn't have a big buffer. So it was like, don't screw it up. Because by this point, I think everyone behind him had pitted. Like Charles had pitted, Max had pitted. Max had not pitted. But Charles, I
don't think Charles had stopped yet. One of them hadn't stopped yet.
Yeah, I think Charles had, but Max hadn't.
Oh yeah, because Max is on the medium, so that makes sense. Yeah,
and then when Charles stopped, and then it was like Lando P1, Max P2, I was like, oh my God, Max is going to be praying for a safety car right now.
Yeah.
Like, to be able to pit and not like lose the place, but because it was so tight up the front, like I think if Max had pitted then, he would have come out like P8 or something like that. Like he would have had so many cars to have to overtake.
I know.
But yeah, Lando pitted, and they did a good job. They did it.
Yeah.
And then I think it was around like lap 35 was when the Mercedes order of cars debacle started.
This was so silly. This was so stupid. Well, just before that, or like around that time, also Alonso DNF'd as well. I guess more technical things. But yeah, George says politely at the start, I have more pace than Kimi. I can go and get a podium. It's on. Podium is on. I can get Ollie. Let me through. And if I can't get him, I'll give the place back.
Yeah.
That should have been team orders, swap positions, off you go.
Yeah.
However, Oscar catches up the back of them, and they are in a little DRS train behind Kimi, and George is just sandwiched in the middle.
Yeah. Burning up his tires.
A mental breakdown.
Yeah. He was totally crashing out.
Valid, honestly, valid crash out, genuinely, because he was just burning up his tires, and he's like, a podium is on here, guys. Like, what are we doing? Yeah. And some of his radio messages were just classic George Russell comedy. Yeah. He was like...
They were so good.
He was like, I've got a fucking McLaren, like, what did he say? Like, I've got a McLaren, because he said something before, and he was like, do you want me to let him through? And he was like, no, thank you.
Yeah, I've got a McLaren behind me. Do you want me to just let him through? And then he was like, no. I was like, well, I've got a fucking McLaren on my fucking ass.
He's like, I've got a fucking car, my fucking arsehole. I was like, okay, George.
Oh, it was so funny.
But like, valid. But by the time that they let him through, he'd spent 5 laps behind Kimi, burning up his tyres, and then couldn't do anything about Ollie.
I know.
So it was just a bit silly.
Well, while all that was happening, Yuki had an unexplained 12-second pit stop. Don't know why that happened, but he had a real long pit stop, which
Ruined
then to finish
race.
P11 was actually quite good.
Yeah, but he was on for points.
Yeah, that's true. But, like, still, I mean, 12 seconds.
Recovered,
Jesus.
yeah.
Max also pitted and came back out on his soft tyres behind Lewis in P8. And then, like, yeah, George, I think that was when they let George through finally.
Yes.
To see if he could, catch Ollie, and he could not.
Nope.
But
and then after that had happened, they were like, Oscar box to overtake.
oh my god,
and then,
I don't know why they keep trying to do this. No one's falling for that.
No. And so then Kimmy came in as well, instead of, they were like, all right, we'll just cover it off. Coming in at the same time.
Because it was like a fake out. It was like a fake out, but then it wasn't.
Because then, like, it's never going to work if you don't do it the first time around, because they're going to be wise to it the next time you come around.
I know.
And they were.
So, like, Oscar and Kimmy pitted, and then that just triggered, like, half the pack.
Yeah.
To decide that it was a 2-stop.
I know. But also, like,
What?
Oscar did jump Kimmy in the pits, but that wasn't McLaren's strategy of boxing to overtake. It was just Mercedes had a slow stop. So it worked.
He got lucky there.
Yeah, it wasn't like a strategy win. It was just Mercedes fucked the stop. But yeah, it triggered like Russell, Bearman, a bunch of other drivers like coming in for a second stop.
Crazy. Ferrari was one of the ones who didn't, with Charles, who was in P2, which was kind of fair enough because it was like Max behind him, who was obviously catching him, like you said, at a rate of knots. But like it was either pit and you'll definitely be P3, or keep him out and
hope you can defend.
Might be able to hold on to P2.
Yeah, 100%.
Especially with Carlos Sainz like ready to cause a safety car for you. So
yeah. And obviously for Lando, he's so far ahead. There's no point doing that. Like, he can just wait and see what happens and make a decision later.
Yeah. But yeah,
then there was
so
a point in time where they were like, or like Charles or Max, one of them was like, there's debris on the track. And I was like, are you saying this because you want a safety car to pit to take off those tyres for the exact reason you were just saying?
Yes.
And I was like, I'm sure if you ask Lando if there's debris on the track, he'd say no.
Yeah. He'd be like, I see nothing.
Yeah. Debris where? I don't know her. I don't know what you mean.
Yeah. But Max was just getting closer and closer to Charles. George gave Kimmy the place back after a few laps of trying to catch Ollie and like not succeeding. And then it's like the final countdown as we like go through like the last 5 laps, and I'm like, oh my god, like is Max gonna be able to catch Charles? And part of me obviously, I know, part of me wanted him to, because like the championship, and like it's not like Charles is gonna win, so whether it's P2 or P3, meh. But I was like, oh, this is like so exciting. It was such a nail biter finish as to what was gonna happen. And then we get to lap 70 and they pull a virtual safety car for the final lap of the race.
Because I was like, when the yellow flag came up, I was like, oh my god, what's happened? Because like Max was closing in on Charles, and also Oscar was closing in on Ollie. A bit less close, but like he was as well. Yeah. He might have had like a last minute lunge too. And then it was like yellow flags, and I was like, oh my god, who has wiped each other out here? Like, what's gone on? But it was just poor Carlos beached, doing his dear friend Charles Leclerc a favour.
For real.
And
there was just no need. He was so far out of the way, behind a barrier.
Yeah, like, yellow flags would have covered it.
Yeah, there was absolutely no need. Like, I get that you're trying to be safe and like take as much precaution as possible, which, I mean, did you see the footage of Liam Lawson where like marshals ran out onto the track to pick up some debris?
No.
Like right in front of him, because he was like halfway around the track on the other side. Yeah,
Oh my
and he
God.
was like earlier in the race. And he literally like, they like ran out into the track in front of him and he was like, holy fuck, I could have just killed them. Like,
Oh my God.
it was terrifying. Yeah,
Jesus.
I know. Anyways,
crazy. I
that's
didn't
obviously
notice
just
that.
like martial error. Like, yeah, but
Don't
anyway,
run out in front of a Formula One car.
literally. But yeah, the VSC was just so pointless and
Yeah.
ruined what was like, it was just building and building and building, and then it just flatlined.
Yeah, I was like, we might
And I
get
was
like a
like,
photo
oh.
finish, like drag race to the line. Like, it just would've
obviously
been
then
so
the safety car was
fun.
ending. Yeah. The safety car was ending and there was like half a lap left, and I was just like, there's just, it's not gonna happen.
No.
You don't have enough time now. You
I
don't
was
have
like,
enough
if-
now.
Yeah. Also, like, if
no.
Charles can defend
And
from
it
Lando on, like, in Austin last week for that long, I think he can
Yeah.
defend half a lap from Max.
Yeah.
I think he can.
Literally. Obviously, it wasn't the weekend that Max would have wanted to be able to close down the championship more, but I'd say that he's still in it for sure. I think it's like 36 points between him and Lando. So
It's gonna be. It's going to the end of the season is going to be blockbuster, and I'm so nervous. But excited but nervous. I
Yes.
think so long as McLaren stay out of it as a team,
Yes.
and all drivers are able to just do their best, I'm kind of okay
Yes.
with whatever result. Obviously, I want a McLaren to win, but as long as it's good, that's kind of fine by me.
Exactly. So, obviously, Lando won. Ollie Bearman, P4, career best.
So
I think
good.
Haas team best as well.
It is, yeah.
Which is amazing. It was
I
so
think equal
sweet
team best,
afterwards.
maybe. I might be.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
It was so sweet afterwards though, like when he was in the interview pen and like he could see his family like hugging and crying and his like girlfriend like hugging and crying, and like it made him tear up while he was like doing an interview.
He was like, why would you show me that now? I'm emotional.
Yeah.
I was like, valid. That would be me. I'd be like, okay.
Yeah. So sweet. In less good news, it was the 4th weekend in a row with no podium for Oscar, which is
It's
not
just
ideal.
Good. It was pretty good damage minimization in the end for P5.
Yes, absolutely.
Starting from
especially when
P7.
he was like P11 after lap 1, turn 1. So
Yeah, like obviously it's not good, and he has missed out on the podium now in 4 races, but it could have been a lot worse. Like in the
Yeah.
end, he's only lost his championship lead by 1 point. Like,
yeah, I know.
yeah,
Crazy.
and this is getting to the point of time where it's like, well, maybe you shouldn't have given the position back in Monza.
I know.
But obviously
those
we're not
little
gonna-
bits start to creep in.
I know, but obviously, like, then you talk about, as I sent to you throughout the week, like, without Lando's technical failure in Zandvoort, he would have been leading already. Like,
Yes.
and obviously, like, we're not
I
going to nitpick moments, but I did see that and I was like, damn, that's actually a bit crazy.
I know.
Actually, a bit
Crazy. But obviously, Lando on the podium, his car had the mariachi hat on rather
He didn't
than,
put
or
the hat on.
sombrero. I know. I
He
was
didn't have
like,
the hat
no.
But also, like, fair. He's like,
So
no.
valid. I kind of can't believe Max did it in 2023.
I know.
I was like, who is this man?
And they didn't give Carlos one last year. They didn't do it.
I know.
I was like, rude. I
Yeah.
feel like Carlos would have put it on.
Yeah.
I
Agreed.
feel like Carlos would have
But-
put it on. Charles would have put it on.
Yeah. I liked that it was on the car at the very least. Though.
Yeah, the
That's
car
cute.
was wearing the hat.
Yeah.
Like, it was definitely
Um,
there so Lando would put it on, but
Yes. But
he was like, well, my car can wear the hat.
can wear it.
Yeah.
Shall we get into our awards, or was there anything
Yes.
else you want to say about the race?
No, that is
Let's
great.
do it. Biggest winner, who did you have?
Lando, because he was just so dominant, as we've said, and now leading the championship. Also Ollie and Haas, because double points finish.
Yes, very true. That was exactly who I had.
Perfect.
Biggest losers?
Obviously.
I had a few.
Yeah, do you want to go first?
Well, obviously Oscar losing his championship lead. Lewis, we didn't even really talk about, like...
No.
I mean, we did a little bit, his penalty, but, like, that
that's
really
kind of what did
screwed
it.
him.
Yeah.
Yeah, that 10-second penalty just totally ruined his race.
Yeah.
Obviously Carlos and his series of unfortunate pit stop events. Yeah.
It's not funny, but it's kind of funny.
Yeah, and Alpine, because even though there were 4 cars that DNF'd, they were still just back of the finishes.
They're so slow.
I mean, what are you doing? Why are you here?
They're just waiting for next year.
Yeah, for real.
They're going to have so much wind tunnel time.
I know.
Yeah, no, I just had Oscar and Williams and, like, mainly Carlos.
Yeah,
fair. Nothing really to add on that.
Fair. Silliest surprise? What did you have?
The chaos of, like, turn 1, lap 1, and having a bit of vintage Verstappen. Like, they're just kind of things I wasn't really expecting to see out of that race.
Yeah, fair. Yeah. I had Ollie Bearman's performance, and Max finishing on the podium after how he was looking throughout the race, because genuinely it was looking like he was getting undercut by the top half of the field. I was like, there's no way this man finishes on the podium. Yeah, 100%. So the fact that he did was incredible.
Yeah, agreed. Also, just another silly surprise to add in is Max not really being in contention for the win in Mexico.
Yeah.
I was actually so confident
money
on Friday.
On the fact that Max would have won.
Yeah, we were talking about it at work on Friday, and I was like, I don't see Max losing in Mexico. I don't see Max losing in Brazil. I don't see Max losing in Vegas. Like, he's going to win the championship, like, blah, 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 blah. And now he lost in Mexico.
And then
I'm
he
like,
didn't.
Okay. But this was also kind of like a mid-McLaren crash out, so, like, I was having a moment. But,
fair.
Yeah, the fact that he wasn't in contention is, like, kind of crazy.
Yeah, for real. Biggest meme, what did you have?
I've got a couple, shockingly. It's one of them is like, because you know how there's all those memes of like Max being, and it's like, ha ha ha, you thought it would be different this time.
Yes.
It was after quali, and it's a picture of Max looking sad, and it just says, it was different this time. And then the other one is, it's a Brooklyn Nine-Nine meme, and you know when Gina is like just dancing to her music, I'll send it to you so you can put it in, and then there's like a full-on brawl going on in the background, and she's just like oblivious to it. And it's like, she's Lando, and then it's like Leclerc, Hamilton, Verstappen, and Bearman. Just like all behind.
True. I know. It got a little crazy. I have one that's like a bird's eye shot of like turn 1 in Mexico, and the caption was like, how to take turn 1 in Mexico, and it's just all these different like colored squiggly lines of all the different lines, except it's like Verstappen on lap 1, Verstappen when passing Hamilton, Leclerc, Alonso in 2022, Perez in 2023, like everyone else. Like
that's really funny.
Just so silly.
Yeah, all of the chaos that's happened into that corner over the years.
Yeah, honestly. But that was also George Russell sitting in the grandstands in FP1.
Oh my god, yeah.
Wrestling.
100%.
Like, you continue to be a walking meme, so.
Yeah, literally.
Favorite moment? What did you have?
Lando's pole lap. Just incredible. Like, that was just like, and also Max catching Charles at the end. I was like, oh. Yeah. But then it got ruined. But that was very exciting.
Yeah, agree. I had Lewis and Max going wheel to wheel. And I mean, just all the lap 1, turn 1 drama. But yeah, that like lap 6 of like Lewis and Max battling it out. I was like, oh yes. And then Ollie Bearman going through. I was like,
yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah, so that was quite good. Driver of the day.
I
feel
agree
like-
with the people,
Yep.
but you have to just say Lando was flawless as well. Like,
Totally.
I do agree with the people. Ollie Bearman deserves that, but Lando was just completely flawless. So
Oh, absolutely. Like I said, drive of a world champion, undeniably.
100%. Yeah,
So good. And I think that's it. So
I think so. Do you have a fun fact? A
Oh,
useless
I
stat?
totally do. I completely forgot the useless stat.
Because I have one as
do.
well. Go for
I
it.
actually have two. I don't know how
Oh my god, go for it.
missed
Because
this.
we're
Right,
running
I'll
really
do
late
one-
and I'm going to be late for work.
I know.
Um,
I'll do one, you do one, then I'll do one, and then we'll
Okay.
we'll do Brazil, and
Yeah.
then we'll wrap up. So
Yeah.
my first one is that Max has never won a race from starting from P5.
yeah,
Ever.
crazy.
He's won from P17. He hasn't won from P5.
Yeah, literally crazy.
Hello. So that was my first one. What was
Um,
yours?
Mine was I was hoping that this would come true with a McLaren pole position, and it did. So out of the last 14 Mexican Grand Prix that there have been 13 different pole sitters.
Wow.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy? Even
That is
through all of
crazy.
like Max Verstappen dominance, Lewis Hamilton dominance,
Yeah.
all of that. Because we had like all through
Wow.
that, and I know like who they were as well, we don't really have time to get into it, but over that time there was like a Rosberg pole, Hamilton pole, there was like a Ricardo
Yeah.
pole, a Vettel pole, a Bottas pole, like
Yeah.
it was, even though Hamilton and Verstappen were dominant over those years, they only
Yeah.
had one pole each across.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Well, my other fun stat, because I was like, okay, there's 4 races to go and there's 1 point between the championship leaders. And obviously there's comparisons being made between 2021 and 2016 and this season. So I wanted to see like what the gaps were like with 4 laps
Yes.
to go between them.
Ooh, 4 races to go.
Yeah, with 4 races to go. So in 2016, with 4 races to go, there was 33 points between Nico and Lewis, with Nico on top. And in 2021, there was 19 points between Lewis and Max, with Max on top. So now, in 2025, there is 1 point between Oscar and Lando, with 4 races and 2 sprints to go. And I just think that is insane.
It is insane. And also with this year, the extra added complexity is that there's a third driver only
Well,
35
exactly.
points behind him.
Like, Lewis and Nico with 33 points. Max is only 36 points off Lando. Like, it's crazy.
Oh my god, like it's a proper 3-way scrap. It's so exciting.
Yeah. I know.
All right. So next week,
Yes.
sorry, I'm just like, I'm going to be late. We're off to Brazil, which last year was
are.
insane. It was probably like one of, if
Bro.
not the best race last year.
It was crazy. It took so long.
Oh my god. And there was like, because it was obviously Max came from P17 to win the race in the torrential
Yes.
rain.
Yes.
Everyone, because even quali, there was like everyone kept crashing because it was wet, and Lando pulled out an amazing pole position.
Yeah.
And then partway through the race, there was safety car after safety car after safety car, and then they red flagged it after
Yeah.
Colapinto crashed, and I think it was
Yeah.
when the weather was getting pretty bad, and they red flagged it just after the 2 race leaders in George and Lando had pitted for new tyres,
Yes.
which released Verstappen and the 2 Alpines
Yeah.
into the lead of the race.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm not gonna get yelled at like Lando was for being like, it was luck. It wasn't luck. He came from P17 to win the race. The red flag did
Yeah.
help,
Yes.
But-
absolutely.
you know. Anyway, double Alpine podium.
Double Alpine podium, the end of the French Civil War, but just an insane race. I was in like a little village in Bali with like no internet, and it took me like
God,
6
true.
hours to watch the race because it kept buffering. And then there
Me.
was so many delays. Yeah. And I
Oh,
was like, I just want to
God.
get through this race. But yeah,
Literally.
it was wild and just an absolute masterclass by Max. Like, I think a lot of people compared it to just like one of the greatest drives of all time.
100%. Like, it was
Truly phenomenal.
incredible. Also, like, in Brazil, that was when in the sprint race they made Oscar give Lando the place because it was like using like Oscar's not in championship contention, like it was like almost like a papaya rules like little moment. And then after like in Qatar, even after, because after Max had won the world championship in Vegas, in Qatar, Lando was like, I'm gonna give Oscar the place back because he gave it to me in Brazil, and then the team was like, don't do that, and then he did it.
Yes,
you remember that?
I do remember that.
Anyway, so
Bizarre.
I doubt there'll be any McLarens giving anyone any places in this year's
there will
Brazil
not.
sprint.
I know. It will be very interesting to see how it all plays out and
know.
what weather Brazil brings this year.
If it's another classic rainy banger, I'm here for that. Well, I'm here for it.
So here for it. Agreed.
I mean, I fear Max will just win, but
yeah,
Lando's been pretty handy in a wet race this year. So
that's very true.
anyways, I feel like that it has to be the end because I need
we
I
gotta
need
wrap
to
this up. Yeah.
Thank you so much for watching / listening. If you're on an app, give us a 5-star review because it really helps us out. If you're watching on YouTube, like the video, comment your thoughts, subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Bye.